to actually get out mentally and emotionally. Confusion racks your body, not even knowing what is right, what is wrong, what is up, what is down, not even understanding where you are in the relationship. Well, is it going well? Is it not going well? Is he with you? Is he not with you? Is he going to be home tonight? Is he not going to be home tonight? You have millions of different questions about your relationship, but no clarity. And when this happens over a period of time, you develop cognitive dissonance, which is two opposing thoughts. He says he loves me, but he abuses me. He says he loves me, but he lies to me. He says he loves me, but he cheats on me. Which is it? Do I believe his words or do I believe his actions? And the cognitive dissonance is part of the addictive cocktail that produces the trauma bond that leaves you addicted to this guy and coming back over and over and over again. Makes you feel like you can't leave. You can't actually go no contact. You can't actually separate because you'll go right back to him because you need his validation, his affirmation that you have worth, that you even have any value at all. You have the intermittent reinforcement, which is the roller coaster of life that you're riding with this guy, up to heaven, down to hell. It happens over and over, and you keep justifying the hellish experience because you know it'll get better eventually. And then it does, and then it goes right back. And you know it goes in cycles. You've lived in these cycles. You've experienced these cycles, and you keep telling yourself it's not that big of a deal because you hope that one day he'll eventually figure it out, that one day he'll eventually have this magical epiphany and wake up to the reality that he's hurting you. You are trauma bonded. All of these things make up the addictive cocktail of the trauma bond. The piece that keeps you coming back to him over and over, that keeps you going to toxic guys over and over, new faces, same aspects, same mentality, same thought process, same things that keep happening in you. And you wonder, what's wrong with me because I keep attracting the same type of abusive assholes and it's not helping me heal. You have a trauma bond. And unless that trauma bond gets effectively broken and rewired, you will continue to oscillate back and forth to the same toxic guys over and over and over again. Is that what you want? I don't think so, which is why you're here and why you're watching this. But you have to understand the trauma bond is real and will slow you down forever until you actually take the time to heal. What does healing actually look like for a trauma bond? We have to help you rewire the subconscious programming. You've been trained and conditioned by a toxic guy to look to him for validation, to look to him for permission, to look to him to know whether you can or can't say certain things, whether you can or can't show up certain ways. You've been trained and conditioned for a long period of time of how you have to show up. And as a result, you're used to this and you stay in the same type of loop over and over. The subconscious programming is the story that you're telling yourself. That it's your fault, that you're the toxic one, that if you could have done something different, he would have woken up to the reality that he was being abusive. Multiple things will run through your head that are selling you a story, a lie that doesn't have any facts or evidence to support it, that make you doubt and question your worth and your value. If we do not change the story that you believe, then nothing changes and everything stays the same and you continue in the dead-end road that you're in right now. The pit of shit of everything that you're dealing with, the depression, the stress, the anxiety, the hair loss, the autoimmune disease, you deal with all the weight of it on you and it's not going to end until you break the trauma bond. Until you break the piece that keeps you coming back to this guy, looking for attention, validation, affection, and hoping and praying that maybe he'll wake up to the reality and finally see you. But that's never happened, has it? It's never actually opened up where he's thought and realized and actually seen you because, in fact, in the relationship, you've never felt seen, safe, or secure at all. That's because you're in a trauma bond relationship. And the cycle keeps happening over and over and over until you break it. What I do is I teach women how to actually break out of the cycle completely. How to actually identify what's the trigger, what's the thing that's sidelining you right here, right now, what's slowing you down, what's stopping you, what's making your week awful. There's a trigger that happens and it activates different emotions and different feelings and ultimately activates a story that you're telling yourself. This could be about your worth. This could be about your value. This could be about you and him. It's multiple different versions of it that will happen in your world, but it's a story that keeps you stuck. It's a story that minimizes the abuse, that pushes it to the side, that says it's not that big of a deal. It's a story that leaves you trapped thinking that it'll eventually change, but nothing changes. If we don't work on changing that story, nothing changes. And you continue to show up hoping and praying that he's going to change, not sure what to believe, his words or his actions, thinking maybe you'll get off this roller coaster and you never do because you're addicted to the cycle and you don't want to wake up to the reality that you're in a trauma bond. I was talking with a client earlier today and she was like, I'm surprised more people aren't inside of what you do because of the healing that's here. And she said one of the things that she realized is like most people don't want to wake up to the reality that they're in addiction to a person. Most people won't want to wake up to the reality that what's actually going on in their world has them trapped mentally and emotionally. It's easier to scroll and watch another video. It's easier to zone out on social media, to zone out watching TV. It's easier to cope by pouring yourself more into work, but to actually wake up to the reality that you're actually addicted to another guy, yeah, that's hard. And the majority of people aren't going to do that. The reality is, if you're in a toxic situation, if you're with a guy who's a manipulator, if you're with a guy who's a liar, if you're with a guy who's a cheater, you're in a toxic situation. You're in a toxic relationship that's not going to produce anything different but the same thing it's always produced, because we already know that he doesn't care about you, he doesn't respect you, and he's not willing to shift anything in his world. Why? Because you're still watching this video and you're still in this situation. This is what the trauma bond does. It makes you justify the pit of shit that you're in, makes you justify how awful this guy is to you, and it makes you justify it so that you stay instead of actually doing something about it. My job as a transformational coach is not to make or break your relationship. My job is to have you understand how to have clarity about your situation so you can be free mentally, emotionally, or physically. Because if you don't heal from this, it will continue to rack your life, your mind, your soul, and your body forever. Because the trauma bond doesn't go away just by you having distance from this guy. You could leave and you never actually break free. You'd still be stuck in your head 24/7. That's the rumination. That's the trauma bond. Still at work, still active. If we don't break this permanently, you will not heal. But you'll continue to want to heal, hope to heal, try to heal, but you'll try every different thing except actually putting in the work and the effort to rewire the subconscious programming, to shift the story that you believe. That's what I teach, and that's what I show people to do on a daily basis. How to shift the story that you believe so that you're no longer trapped, because he's not the one trapping you at this point. You already have enough knowledge. You already have enough awareness. You've already seen enough videos to know something's going on that's not right. Now it becomes your responsibility to shift the mindset, shift the thought process, not his to break free, not his to wake up, but yours to transform your life. And if you're a woman that's in a toxic relationship, that you're dealing with the lies and the manipulation, then this message is for you. Reach out for help. I'm running an all-day workshop July 12th in Orlando, Florida, or virtually all over the globe on Zoom. And the goal inside of this is to give you the tools to heal, to walk you through, to be able to highlight and walk with you and show you with other people of how you can actually be free from the trauma bond permanently. How you can have the accountability, the group, the connection, the trauma-informed people to uphold you and support you, but also have a way to be free long-term. Not just for a moment, not just for a second, not just a reprieve from the abuse, but long-term success so that you never go back to a toxic guy and you know who you are and you're able to move forward with confidence and clarity. If you want to know more about that, you can go to rawmotivations.com/reclaim or drop a comment that says the word reclaim below and I'll send you the link. Healing doesn't happen just by distance. Healing doesn't happen just by you going no contact. Healing happens when you choose to stop consuming and take action on you changing who you are on a subconscious level, rewiring the story that you believe. So go to rawmotivations.com/reclaim or drop a comment down below and we'll send you a link. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. We'll see y'all next time.